How can you avoid global variable pollution in JavaScript? Imagine building a big puzzle where each piece needs to fit perfectly without overlapping or causing confusion. That's what managing scope in JavaScript is all about. When you declare variables at the top level, they become part of the global scope, which is like a shared workspace everyone can access. This can lead to conflicts if different parts of your code use the same variable names. It's like two people trying to write on the same whiteboard at once, causing chaos and confusion. Global variables stay in memory as long as your page is loaded, which can slow things down and even expose sensitive information like passwords or tokens to other scripts. To keep your code clean and safe, you need to control where and how variables are created. One of the best ways to prevent pollution is using immediately invoked function expressions, or IIFs. Think of an IIFE as a tiny, private bubble where your variables live. It's a function that runs right after you create it, keeping all its variables hidden from the outside world. Here's how it looks. You wrap your code inside a function, and then immediately call it with parentheses. Inside this bubble, you can declare variables with var, let, or const, and they won't leak out into the global space. If you need to access global objects like the window or document, you can pass them as parameters into your IIFE. This way, you keep most of your code private while still working with global features when needed. Modern JavaScript offers an even cleaner solution through S6 modules. When you add type is equal to module to your script tag, each file becomes its own little universe. Variables and functions declared at the top level of a module don't become global properties. Instead, they stay within that module, making your code more organized and less prone to conflicts. You can import and export specific parts of your code, so everything stays neat and easy to manage. This approach is highly recommended because it keeps your global namespace clear and makes dependencies clear to anyone reading your code. If you must work with global variables, use let and const instead of var. These keywords create block scope, which means variables only exist within the nearest set of curly braces. For example, inside an if statement or a loop, you can declare a variable with let, and it won't be accessible outside that block. This reduces accidental pollution because variables won't leak into other parts of your code. It's like having a small, controlled workspace instead of a shared one. Sometimes, you might want to find out which part of your code is polluting the global scope. You can set up a proxy using object-defined property on the global object, which is window in browsers. This technique intercepts any assignment to a global variable and can pause execution or log a message. It's like having a security guard watching over your global space, alerting you whenever something sneaks in. This helps you track down and fix issues before they cause bigger problems. The best practice is to organize your code using modules whenever possible. Wrap legacy code or third-party scripts inside IIFs to keep them from polluting your namespace. Avoid declaring variables globally unless absolutely necessary. When you do need global variables, put them inside a single object like appconfig. This way, you only have one global identifier and everything else stays contained. For example, instead of creating multiple global variables, you can have one object with properties like API URL, timeout, and debug. This keeps your global namespace tidy and makes your code easier to maintain. Always be cautious with sensitive data and avoid storing passwords or tokens in global variables, as they could be accessed or leaked. By understanding how scope works, using IIFs, adopting modules, and following these simple rules, you can keep your JavaScript code clean, safe, and easy to work with.